Welcome to Rhythm, a podcast on being in balance through conversations with the Swami. Welcome to Rhythm. Namaste, Rhythm listeners, and Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste, Sunil. How are you?
I'm good, Swamiji. Another cold morning in Auckland.
Yes, very cold in the last 2 weeks.
How have you been?
Good. Been busy with getting things ready at our new retreat property.
Oh, that's right. Where is it up to, Swamiji?
Well, we have been able to get it to a stage, get some accommodation ready for 10-15 people.
That's good. This is in service of trying to get a retreat sorted.
Yeah, so the next stage would be to have a retreat of devotees to come and stay a weekend. And we do our usual thing, which we're doing at other places now at our own venue.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. Is it sometime closer to summer?
I will do it earlier than that, hopefully next month.
Oh, next month, September. Oh, that'd be good.
August, September, around there.
Excellent. Looking forward to that. Swamiji, there's a proverb. As you sow, so shall you reap. This is one of the fundamental quotes that is quoted oftenly when people talk about karma. What is this all about, Swamiji?
So karma, yes, we hear that comment, the word karma. Sometimes you see somebody did something wrong and immediately there was a counter. Something wrong happened to that person and people said, oh, karma. That means, as you sowed, immediately something came back to you. So it's used probably in that way. You hear that comment just like that. But the word karma originates from the root kri in Sanskrit, which means to do, to work, any activity. And so we as human beings are always doing something. No one sits still like a tree, or even the tree does something, but very, very slowly. But as human beings, we have this faculty of organs of action, hands and feet and mouth, and 5 organs of action are there, constantly engaged in something. We're different from animals because we have plans, we have desires, we have projects, we try to direct our resources to achieve those goals that will give us sense of fulfillment, happiness, success, and all those type of things. Okay, so we are not just like a cow who's just happy to graze and sleep and drink and that's it. They don't have much more in life to. So man has been given this additional capacity to be guided by a faculty called buddhi, power of discrimination, how we utilize that faculty. So everyone is working. Karma means any work. Normally people will say, oh, that person is working when that particular person is physically doing something.
Yes.
Okay, doing some gardening, building this and that. But if he's physically keeping quiet, then he's not working. Because they identify physical work with karma. But thinking is also karma.
Right.
Mental activity, not seen. You're sitting down thinking, contemplating, planning, a lot of churning of mental activities there. Meditating is also a karma at a higher, subtle level. So anything, thought, word or deed
It's karma.
is karma. All right. And karma involves some form of energy. Without any, petrol in the tank, the car doesn't move. Without some energy, the human being doesn't move. Physically, we don't move. Mentally also, we can be very, very lethargic.
Yes.
Sometimes you just want to sleep.
Yes.
Don't want to think. It hurts. The head is hurting, they say.
That's right.
You listen to an intense Vedanta lecture after sometimes, it's too much, It's just like your mental energy is not there to absorb, process that information type of thing. And meditation, though it might seem simple, somebody sitting quietly, physically not moving, not trying to think many things also, but he's trying to channelize that energy in another level, more intense. It is easier to go and plow an acre field in the hot sun than to meditate for 10 minutes. Because physically you can do it.
Yeah.
But to control the mind and keep it on a focus, it's harder work. They're all karma.
Okay.
So all these activities leave some impression, some result. There's something called karma phala, the result of work. Work cannot be just running aimlessly. It must culminate in some output, result, And that's what drives people to work. So they have a result they're aiming for, and therefore they engage in a series of work that will bring the desirable result type of thing.
So at work could be, we're building something,
Building
a
something,
widget or providing a service. Yeah. There's some result.
Studying.
provided. Yeah.
A student wants to become a doctor.
Yeah.
So all that goes year in, year out, our whole is karma that will transform that newcomer, first year MBBS student, into a graduate doctor.
Yes.
So all that, attending the lectures, reading the books, doing the practicals, they are leaving some impressions on the mind. Through each one of those activities incrementally, that person's mind is taking some shape. Knowledge is acquired, skills are acquired, until a time comes where somebody says all that sum total of knowledge and skill is enough to give this person a label called a doctor. Okay. Yeah. And likewise, everything. So you see, from the moment we are born, karma starts.
Yeah.
We're learning. Maybe it's not a deliberate thing. A child is learning faster than anyone else, you might think. He's soaking information, he's processing, he's storing, and before you know, he's learned a whole language. You try to learn a new language in older age, you see how difficult it is.
Yeah.
But a child is not seen to be working. Yet he is intensely working, learning, processing. Everything is happening mentally. So we are all doing karma. Being born means being in the field of action. That's why they call this world is karma bhumi, a plane of action. Everyone comes here to act.
Okay. Different
roles, different duties, different places are allocated. And some succeed, some fail, but we are all in the game, so to say. We are out in the field. So karma phala is there, result is there. So, and the results are something that are stored. So when you say, as one sows, so one shall reap, there are consequences of that karma. It's not just like I did this, I got a result, and that's the end of the story. You see? There are consequences. So when we say, as you sow, so you shall reap.
Yeah.
That means at some stage, the karma that you have done has to be counteracted to neutralize it. Then only you will become free. All right. So it's like, let's use an example. There's a wheel, which has got a operation that it can turn, and you supply some energy into it, and it spins faster and faster in a clockwise direction. And suppose it reaches a speed of 100 RPM. Now, to stop that and bring it back to that rest motion, it has to, a negative opposite energy has to be applied to it to slow it down and bring it back. You see? So karma is both ways. It's a two-edged sword type of thing, Certain things you'll do, it will build a momentum and you'll bind you, take you for the ride. Now you're spinning with that. You might enjoy the fun. All right. But after some time you said, hey, this is too much. I don't enjoy this. I want my peace. I want my rest. I want my calmness. But you can't find that. You have to find a way to cancel that effect out. So whatever you do, then you have to, reaping means you have to do the opposite of it. Normally it is used in the sense of a moral term that if you do harm to somebody, then it will come back to you type of thing. If you do good to somebody, then it will come to you. To be good, to do good, and all that is there. So life is a mixture of things. We are engaged for survival in so many activities. No work is perfect in itself. Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that no work is absolutely good. Every work is attended by some defect. An example he gives us, every fire has got some smoke.
Yes.
Okay, some has got a lot more smoke and some hardly noticeable smoke. But there's no perfect karma in there. So for very survival, you might say, I'm a good person, I just do my work, I earn my living, I work on a farm, I plant my vegetables and I eat, and I don't do any harm to anyone out there. And therefore, my work is survival, doesn't bring any misery, suffering to anyone. But is it so simple? You might be spraying pesticides and you're killing so many insects and you're plowing the land, and within that there are so many earthworms and other things that are there, they will die. Do you take notice of that? Those type of things, you might deprive, you say, I might, got a few cows and goats, but by taking the milk, you're depriving the calf of its milk,
Yes. So every time you do an action, it's, while it might benefit you, at the same time probably is not benefiting others or taking away their benefit.
Or cause some suffering.
Cause some suffering for others, potentially.
Not that intentionally you do, but your very survival depends on that. If you say, hey, if I say I'm going to practice absolute ahimsa, non-violence, non-injury to any being, deliberately, then you would not be able to survive.
Then you'd be locked away in a room.
Even there, So suppose, you say, hey, I don't hurt anything like that, but suppose there's an infestation of ants or cockroaches in your room, and you say, either you choose to live with them all, or you say, I have to get some spray. And sooner or later you'll find your own survival will overtake all those other things and you'll end up spraying those cockroaches.
Yes.
All right, that's the reality of things out there. Within our own system, there are so many viruses and bacteria and all those things living there within the body. And when they're having a good time, they're flourishing and all those things, but you are not very happy because you are falling sick.
Yes.
You take a lot of antibiotics to wipe them out. You see? Yeah. So it's a very complex world. Yeah. Swami Vivekananda says this world is a wheel within a wheel within a wheel. There are like multiple layers of things, and we are sort of down the line a cog that is turning. We think we are having some degree of control, but we are being turned
by something.
And somebody is turning that, and somebody is turning that. Like in an organization, the man on the factory floor is doing certain things. He's got a certain amount of freedom operating a particular machine. Yeah. But he has to do what his supervisor asks him to do. Yeah. Okay. The supervisor is being turned by his boss. And ultimately, somebody sitting at the top office at the top level management decides, we are going to shut down this factory. So, because it's not making profit, or do this, some jobs should be lost, or this and that, because that's the top level wheel. So it's a wheel within a wheel within a wheel. And we are all caught in it. Somehow we have a sense of freedom that we want to do. But ultimately, we are all bound in it type of thing. And so, doesn't matter at which level you're operating, top level general manager or guy on the factory floor, all are doing the work. So there's another subject that's, which is better work, like, if I have to choose, some people say I should sit on the top there, with that more power comes more responsibility. If you're not ready for it, you can misuse that power and bring more harm to many people along that. That's another topic too. Discuss freedom and responsibility. A degree of freedom comes with the degree of responsibility everywhere. But coming back to this karma, is basically it means any action, any work, in thought, in word, in deed, which is bringing a change where the maximum people are benefited. That's what we should aim for. But cannot have a situation where absolutely everyone is benefited. Yeah. The world is like a transaction. You give and take, So if you're doing good business, making profit, well, somebody is paying more.
Yes.
Oh, your customers are
Yes.
paying more, and maybe they're struggling financially. The cost of living is high, and they're deprived of the basics and things. But the business is saying we are thriving.
Yes.
We're very happy.
Yeah. Employees are happy. Everyone's happy. But
The customer is not happy.
Yeah.
Because they're suffering at the end of the day. Now, if you want to make them happy, customers happy, then your profit margin goes down, and your investors are not happy, and your employees is not getting an increment. So where do we, which one, what is the ideal? Can we keep everyone happy?
Yes.
No. Law of karma says no. Yet we are caught into it, and we get according to our deserve. So there's two meanings of karma. One is this karma, like we say, as you sow, as you reap, or the result of your work actions leave a result. But there's another deeper meaning of karma, which is I would like to discuss. So Swami Vivekananda, and for those listeners who would like to know where these ideas are coming from, I would like to refer them to this beautiful, very small book called Karma Yoga by Swami Vivekananda. You can get this in any of our mission centers publications, or online. It's available there. It's not very long, but the way it has been presented is beautiful. And there are lots of small bits of information there, or knowledge there, that can help us do our work better. Working in the light than in the darkness. So what Swamiji says is that, Swami Vivekananda says that karma decides what we deserve in our life.
What we deserve.
What we deserve, Okay. So for example, he says, hey, look, you might be born in a rich family. Don't have to work. Millions of dollars inherit. But you're not going to use those millions of dollars. You'll use only that which you deserve to use. And that would be decided by your karma, previous karma. The rest, it will be there. You'll never use it. You buy so many clothes and you put in your wardrobe. Which ones are you going to use? As happens in many people. Only that which you deserve. The deserving is decided by your previous karma. So people will say, so, it's in his karma, he got it. Okay? He didn't have to work for it maybe in this lifetime, but definitely he worked for it in his previous lifetime. So a person who was very kind and charitable and giving and this and that, you'll find in this life, all those things will come to him. It could be born in a rich family, getting lucky, as you might say. There's no lucky in the sense that something just happened without a cause. No, all of a sudden, when we say lucky, you could not identify the cause. You just saw a good result and said, hey, he's so lucky. No, he worked for it, see. And on the other hand, when something other than unpleasant happens, without a cause, it happens, you can have an accident and say, hey, where did that come from? Well, that was also happening because of a previous karma.
Yeah.
Okay. So karma...
So it's still in line with that same proverb then.
Yes, as we saw, rape. So, but here it's important to understand that everything, it's all pervasive law of karma controls so many things. It's not like a small activity I'm doing now. The law is operational all the time. And
it's across lifetimes, right? It's
across lifetimes. One life. And across dimensions, across the physical activity, mental activity, and spiritual activity, and things that will happen to us in different situations. And when we don't understand that law, then sometimes we fight, we grumble, we whinge, we complain. Why did this happen to me? Why me, as people say. A lot of times,
why me?
Yeah. Well, they say complain about that only when something unpleasant happens to them. When they win a lottery, they don't say, why me? Okay. Why did this happen to me? So it's like that. So this deserving is there. So what the scriptures and the Vedanta tries to teach us is this about the laws that operate in the non-physical the subtle laws that govern our life, our existence, our coming events that happen in our life. And if we have the deep faith and understanding that this is a complex thing, it's not a simple, 1 + 1 = 2 type of thing. Many layers are there. And even if you don't understand, there's no injustice in this world. We are the creators of our destiny. What we want, what we will be in the future, depends on what we do now. And what we are now depends on our past. We are a result of our past, and we are the creators of our own destiny. So when difficult times comes, then somebody who has this Vedanta perspective says, okay, I'm just working out some past karma. Okay, I might not know. I don't have access to my actions of my previous lifetime. Sometimes you see them in your own lifetime. These early days you did something and say, I can see the correlation. But it's good to get it out of the way. So what do? Then they don't complain. They don't whinge. They patiently forbear it and say, let's get it over with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't fight it. Let it work itself out, type of thing. And so you'll find that,
There's also a lot of people that probably, when they commit a crime, there is a sense of guilt that remains with them. And while they might not declare that crime, criminal activity early on, over time, it just hangs in with them, and they can't live with themselves pretty much until they go out and declare it. And then, a lot of people come back and give themselves up to the police or whatever it is, right? They say sorry to their family member after a very long time or whatever it is. Not all of them, but there's definitely some.
It's like they're loaded and sitting on the chest and they say, I want to get it off my chest, as they say, It gives them some relief.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they have, spoken to somebody and now they are absolved of it. No. But it is so oppressive that they need to just, find a way to start the process of taking ownership, facing the truth, talking about it, not hiding it, and being ready for the punishment that might come.
Yes.
So you declare to the police, did something and said, okay, now we found the criminal, therefore, my friend, you have to go to the prison. That could be a situation like that.
Yeah.
He's lucky if he is, because he will work that out here in this lifetime. Yeah. But suppose he is not. Does he escape the punishment?
No.
Oh, the next lifetime, okay, he is born in a situation where he is working that out himself. It's very, very complicated. That reminds me of an incident that somebody told me. Let me tell. So I know of a person who told me this. He's a doctor. And he said one day a very old patient of his came to him, and a regular patient. And one day he said, Doctor, I want to talk to you. And I need to get something off my chest. I said, so nothing to do with the physical treatment. But I just need to talk to somebody, and I find you a good guy who listens and, who's not. So what is it? He said, and this is a little bit of history.
Yeah.
He said, as a young man in Australia, in New South Wales somewhere, I learned how to use a gun. I ended up in Queensland and up in Bundaberg or somewhere harvesting cane. Then I was offered a job to come and use my shooting skills. And guess what was that? We would go in a helicopter into the outback and we were shooting the Aboriginal people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Back in the day. This is back in the days.
Yes. Yeah. And so as a young man, I went and did that, because I'm getting paid for it.
Yes.
Okay. Just like people would shoot kangaroos and other things.
Wow.
So he said, that was what I did until it hit me that this is not right. And I pulled out and I stopped doing that. And no one knew. But I've been carrying this with me, that guilt that you talked about, in my heart for so long that I have gone out and killed people in this way. And I have escaped any punishment and all those things. And I'm an old man about to die anytime. And I can die without anyone knowing. But he says, it is sitting too heavily on my chest. I need to get it off. unload it. So,
Yeah, wow,
the-
that's amazing.
you see, so maybe he felt a little relieved.
Yeah.
I've shared with somebody, I feel better. But is that the end of it?
No, because
His karma
the karma hasn't
come
been
back to
worked
him.
out yet.
Yes. So normally you would be born in a situation where you'll at the receiving end of things. As it was done to somebody else, so it shall be done unto you, type of thing. And so that's how things are decided. It's very, very complex, and sometimes
Yeah, so it just feels like, Swamiji, that how would you ever work that out? Because it seems that for that Aboriginal person that was killed, he not deserved it, but in his prior lifetime, possibly would have done something. Therefore, now this time, this
that's what I'm
person
saying.
got
It's very-
killed, that's all. So it's a
very complex,
It's very
which is the cause of which.
which is the cause? The cause is like there's no real end to this.
Was this the
cause.
settlement of thing
Yes.
in the sense that
Finally
X
settled,
who was, or is this a start of a new
one.
cycle that will need to be settled in the next one?
Yeah.
And so this is how it works.
Yeah,
That's
because-
why
yeah.
Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, intricate are the ways of karma. Gahana karmano gati. It's like a long chain, and we have access to only one link. And in that
don't have
link,
visibility
we are
over
trying
the
to see,
we finished it or we
where
started it,
things are finding and cause and effect type of thing. But it could be things that were done a few lifetimes back that are being worked out now. And what we are doing now
Could be creating new things just to.
are all seeds for the previous.
Yeah.
So when we say we are being born, recycle, Bhavasagar, cycle of rebirths and things, these laws are in operation.
So is someone keeping a ledger, Swamiji? Is that debits and credit?
The mind itself is the ledger. There's no Kuber or somebody who is, writing it down that at St. Peter's gate, he opens the book and says, hey, you go to heaven or you go to hell. That is another very interesting topic as to how karma is stored. When does it begin to become operational in this lifetime? And the new actions that we are doing, how these are getting again stored. Because the physical body doesn't continue to the next life. And yet karma is going to the next life. So the question is, what is the vehicle in which
All these are carried, yeah.
or are carried through? And in what form are they stored? And can we get a grasp of it? Because it's happening to me. And if I want to escape this cycle of coming and going, which is binding me into this series of being born again in different bodies, in different situations, and going through these ups and downs, at some point the jiva feels a tremendous desire to be free from this. But it's not just like wishing I want to be free, therefore I am free. All this karma has to be worked out. So maybe we can take that as a discussion with another episode.
Yes, definitely, Swamiji. Thank you, Swamiji, and we'll carry on the discussions again.
Yes, sure, Sunil. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. Being in balance, rhythm. For more information, please visit www.vedanta.nz.